have a working definition of God I'd like to pass by you guys.
Sure.
Sure. Although, if it's a working definition that you use, I don't know that it needs to pass muster with us. But go for it.
well, you might want to use it too.
I don't.
I don't know, check out certain things. Perhaps, I don't know. The term, okay, here it is. The term God represents the culmination of all natural laws. And I'd also like to do reality. Okay, the term reality represents the culmination of all natural laws.
Well, why would we say that God represents the culmination of all natural laws?
Well, that's reality, correct?
Well, I don't have a problem with reality. I mean, I'm saying that if
you have a problem with the term God, so do I. But
no, I'm saying that almost no one would accept that definition. So if I tried to use it, who would I talk to?
Well, use it. How about if you use it on the first commandment?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, since I'm the only person, I guess if I adopted it, me and you would have conversations where we understood that to be God, but nobody else would accept our definition, so how would it be useful?
Well, okay, could I just do the first commandment with reality instead of God?
Sure.
You shall have no other reality besides reality.
Okay.
I don't see how that helps.
I'm trying to understand the usefulness of it. Like, if I'm going to have a conversation with a theist, they're not going to accept this definition of God. So what is the point of using that as my definition of God?
Well, a theist wouldn't accept this. That means
no. Most of the time they.
That means that they aren't accepting the first commandment.
No, because they're saying that God is not the culmination of all natural laws. So they would say that God includes supernatural aspects, for example. So why would I use a definition that they won't accept and then try to apply it in a way that they reject? How is that going to be useful?
Well, and if Tracie and I had a conversation about it and agreed on
the reality.
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Okay, sorry. Let me try this. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's use that definition just for a second, though.
Oh, sure. We can hypothetically say, let's say that we defined God as reality. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So hypothetically, where are we heading with it?
Okay. Okay. Now, using that definition, is God our creator God?
Sure.
Yes. And you have no problems with that either.
Right. I mean, I would think that every pantheist in the world would agree with you.
I just don't see any reason to call that God. You're just taking reality and you're slapping a different label on it.
That's just a term. It's just a term.
Well, no. I mean, but what's the hypothetical though? You said there was like a hypothetical that you wanted to explore with this definition.
Well, we just did. With the definition of God.
So what you're basically saying is, what if we were pantheists? I mean, a pantheist is somebody who accepts that they call reality God. I mean, but they're the only group I know that accepts that definition, right? That would say that that is God. Every other group I am aware of would reject that as a working definition for God. A pantheist, I think, and I just actually thought of that while we were having the conversation. So that would be one group that we could talk to.
I'm not disputing that one bit. What I'm saying is, imagine if God, or the original meaning of God was that, then it was hijacked.
Okay, I'm imagining that. Now what?
Okay, now you can read certain parts, like in the Bible and stuff, where it talks about Yahweh, and you can see he's an imposter God.
If I assume that God was all the culmination of natural laws originally, correct.
Well, doesn't God have to be reality?
No.
No.
Well, doesn't reality have to be reality?
Sure.
That's tautologically correct. It's like saying, Tracie is Tracie.
You're just using the word God in this case of reality. I'm not saying I didn't invent the word God.
Right. I agree.
I'm just saying how it was used in the Bible, not all of it.
In the Bible, as far as I'm aware, the origins of where their God starts is a pantheon, right? Where they had regional gods that were basically the mascot gods for each little area. And everywhere you went, you would have the gods of that little area, that region. And Yahweh was one of those gods, I guess, or, you know, you had El at the head of the pantheon, and Yahweh was one of the gods of the pantheon below El, and then he ends up being the patron god for the Israelites. Like, this is how the story goes, anyway. And so I'm kind of like, for example, Zeus, right, would be the god of the thunderbolts and king of the pantheon, and then you have Ares, the god of war. So this, I'm trying to get where you're getting the idea, because it doesn't sound like a hypothetical to me.
Those were just describing people's personalities.
Describing people's personalities. Well, I mean, Yahweh had a personality as well.
If you're in a tribe,
I'm losing it.
If you're in a tribe, which is very different than we are now, but if you're in a tribe, it would be much more apparent.
I don't think the people who wrote any of those stories, though, considered God to mean ultimate reality or reality in general. I think that's a concept you're introducing, but I don't think that was ever other than pantheism. I don't think that was ever a definition of God that people who believed in gods used.
Yeah, even religions that say that God is ultimate reality generally mean some kind of weird supernatural reality that underlies this, you know, the reality that we experience.
That's not reality.
Yeah. So it's not a commonly used definition, and I would have to say that I don't think that it's where the concepts of gods came from. And
no, I think it's just a working definition.
And that's fine. I mean, and if you find it useful, I would encourage you to keep using it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it would. I don't know that it would help me in what I'm doing, for example, on Atheist Experience, because I have to talk to people who would never accept that definition. Like, that's pretty much most of the people I talk to would not accept it. A pantheist.
But it is a true definition.
It
lines up.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't know that you get to tell everyone else how to define God. I mean, it's one thing if you want to use it for yourself.
The flood for a second. You wouldn't be mad at if if you had that definition, then you talk about the flood, then you wouldn't be mad at God, would you?
What was the question?
If you use that definition of God and you have the flood, you wouldn't be mad at God for the flood because that's just reality.
I mean,
but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the sky when it rains. That's true.
Yeah. You see, it changes everything.
Yeah, but the people who believe in the flood myth don't look at it that way.
Well, they should be.
I can't make them look at it that way.
You can't make them, but you can put the ideas out there. That's what I'm trying to do.
But I don't even accept that that's what their original concept of gods, even if I look at it from a non-theistic perspective, comes from. Most of these gods came out of older traditions that were more animistic and, more segregated pantheon gods that had attributes or control over certain aspects or areas. And it wasn't until much later that we started to get this weird kind of monotheistic, something energy, like maybe personality.
But what if you had a society that saw this, but they wanted the truth? They wanted to be rooted in truth.
Well, they might be like me. They might become pantheists and then a week later say, shit, I'm an atheist. It's like...
Well, I agree.
But I don't know that simply telling them that they have to use this definition of God would make that happen.
Well, no, they don't have to.
And they won't.
Entertain the idea, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's only useful for people who kind of want to hang on to the concept of God in light of really not believing in it anymore. So I'm going to take this thing that I do recognize and call it God.
The God. I mean, it destroys all the gods. It does.
I'm not.
Yeah, I missed that.
It destroys all the other gods besides reality.
It destroys all the other gods?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, its reality is certainly more believable to me than any of the gods that have been proposed. But, Tracie and I believe in reality, but we're not going to talk about reality and call it God. because that's not a useful term for us to use when we talk about it.
I don't expect you to.
And people who believe in God aren't going to accept that definition either, like Tracie was saying. So
I think there will be a bunch that will.
Maybe. I mean, as a transition, like Tracie said, she was a theist, then she was a pantheist, then she was an atheist because she stopped considering the concept of God to be useful.
Right. This is a shortcut.
So yeah, I guess it could be a useful transition for some people.
Sure.
Okay.
All righty. All right, well, thank you for your call, Mark. You're our last call of the night. Thank you so much.